Hello, Internet! Welcome to another episode of the Random Files. I'm the Random Dude. Did you know that in 1994, IKEA became the first company to use a gay couple in a commercial? Okay, so I finally saw The Hunger Games. And what did I think of it? Well, you see, it was great! What I'm going to do right now is sort of a review slash commentary slash analysis slash whatever you want to call it on the film. Warning, this video will contain spoilers, so unless you haven't read the book or even seen the movie, go watch another video. Like right now. Leave. Now, I read the book and I liked it. I saw the film and I thought it stayed pretty faithful to the book. It was a great experience seeing it on the big screen. I really enjoyed the performances of the cast. Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss, you couldn't have picked a better actress to play that role. This girl has talent. Along with Josh Hutcherson as Peeta, Lenny Kravitz as Cinna, Elizabeth Banks as Effie, Woody Harrelson as Haymitch, and so on. Just a solid cast. I will say, I wish Liam Hemsworth as Gale could have gotten more screen time. However, you can make the argument that he's not featured a lot in the first book. He's just established as Katniss's best friend. But in the movie, they did have shots of him feeling a little pain whenever he was watching Katniss and Peeta kiss. And I thought they did well with that. So it's sort of a small setup to this soon-to-be love triangle. Actually, speaking of shots, I will admit that I wasn't exactly too crazy about the camera work in this film. If you notice in the first part of the film, which takes place primarily in District 12, there's a lot of shaky camera work. It was great to see what District 12 finally looked like. But did it have to be shaky? Then in the second part of the film, in the capital, the camera work seems to be more steady and even allows for a lot of wide-angle shots of the city. Then in the third part of the film, during the actual games, the shaky camera work is back. And I know what they were trying to do. Create the tension and nervousness with the characters as well as a little uneasiness with the audience due to the action and suspense. And even display the raw emotions and violence in the film. But to me, it almost seemed like the film had two cinematographers, each with their own style. I don't know. Well, okay, enough about the camera work. What else did I like? Honestly, besides the main characters, I also liked what they did with a lot of the side characters. For example, Isabelle Fuhrman was amazing as Clove. She just went all insane with that role. But I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. If anybody's going to be playing a knife-wielding teenager, then it should be the same girl who played this bitch. Ooh, I still get nightmares from looking at that. Also, I really enjoyed Stanley Tucci as Caesar Flickerman. His entertaining Ryan Seacrest-like performance made him so much fun to watch. All he's trying to do is help the tributes with their confidence in the interviews, and it really showed on the big screen. I also liked how during the games, the film would cut to shots of Flickerman and Claudius Templesmith, played by Toby Jones, as the commentators of the game, like we were watching ESPN. I also liked how there were scenes of Seneca Crane, played by Wes Bentley, and President Snow, played by Donald Sutherland, sharing dialogue with each other. We didn't see that in the book, obviously because it's told from Katniss's point of view. To me, it really increased the build-up of the ending. Also, speaking of scenes that weren't in the book, I really like how after Rue's death, Katniss saluted the camera and everybody from District 11 was watching and saluting back, and then they started that little riot, because that's a good setup for what's going to happen in the next couple movies. In fact, that's another thing that I liked about the film. The build-up towards the games. It's a whole nother experience when we finally get to the arena. Especially when we started with the glum, gritty District 12 and then the flashy, colorful capital. I heard a lot of people say that the film was too rushed, but I didn't think so. I thought the pacing worked. Now, there are a few controversial topics surrounding the Hunger Games that I feel like I need to address. The first topic? The premise. A totalitarian government forcing children to kill each other in a Roman Colosseum gladiator-esque battle. Yeah, kinda dark, especially for the series' target audience. Teenagers and young adults. But do you know what? I'm cool with that. Why? Because it's actually an interesting concept for teenagers to grasp. I mean, how much more vampires do they need? Second topic. Battle Royale. For those who don't know, Battle Royale is a Japanese novel that was released in 1999 that was also adapted into a movie released in 2000. From what I've read about Battle Royale, it's basically the same premise. A totalitarian state forces school children to fight each other to the death. Yeah, that got me a little skeptical about the Hunger Games at first. I was like, come on America, how many times are you gonna rip off the Japanese? But I'll always love the Lion King. Suzanne Collins claimed that she had never heard of Battle Royale before she wrote the books. In fact, she said in an interview that the main inspirations for the series was the myth of Theseus and the Minotaur, and a night of flipping through channels that showed reality shows and war coverage. Well, okay, that sounds believable. Honestly, I'm not even gonna accuse her of ripping off Battle Royale because I've never read or seen that. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I'm gonna stick to being a Hunger Games fan. Because Hunger Games rules! Finally, we get to topic number 3, and this one really pisses me off. The racism. Apparently, there are some racist Hunger Games fans criticizing the film because they made the characters Cinna, Thresh, and Rue black. Are you f***ing kidding me? It's 2012, and we still have racism? Well, there is the Trayvon Martin case. Okay, I'm getting off topic. People are especially complaining about Rue, played by Amanda Stenberg, being black. Did you pay attention to the book? On page 45, it says, and I quote, "And most hauntingly, a 12-year-old girl from District 11. She has dark brown skin and eyes, but other than that, she's very like Prim in size and demeanor." There you go. I knew from reading that she wasn't going to be a white girl. In fact, I wouldn't care what the race of any of these characters were. Why the racial backlash? What, when you were reading the book, did you really have it in your mind that the default racial makeup of all Pan Am was all white? You do realize this is the former North America in the future. The United States and Canada, two of the most racially diverse countries in the world. And with this taking place in the future, you really thought everybody would be white? It's projected that in almost 50 years, there will be more people of color in the United States than whites. Also, if you paid attention in the film, there are several shots of the Capitol citizens in their incredibly well-designed costumes and makeup, and a lot of these citizens were black. I think I even saw a few Asians and Latinos thrown in there. It shows that even in an oppressed, futuristic society, diversity isn't dead. The Hunger Games deals with social injustices, not racial injustices. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not. I haven't read Catching Fire or Mockingjay yet, but this is not what they covered in the first book. So stop bitching. Race shouldn't affect character. Sigh. So is there anything else I need to praise this film for? Gary Ross's direction was great. The acting was stellar. And the execution of the story about executing children was perfect. I'm proud to call myself a fan of the Hunger Games, and I'll be reading Catching Fire soon. I better get started. Well, that's it for today's episode. Remember to subscribe, like, and follow. I'm the Random Dude, and... Jennifer Lawrence, will you be mine? What if Suzanne Collins was lying to us about not knowing about Battle Royale?